I still remember the plot. I just don't remember where my books are. Hang on.
We are, just so everybody is clear, you guys have gone to Moncala during the break we had, and essentially you did that heist, you went underwater, you broke into their place, you got your little items, which of course you've already paid for in spades, and that includes any items that anyone else was seeking, which I think was only Jack. I would say 14,000 in credits as well, in items that you basically pawned off from Moncala.
Yeah. And from what I gather, the guy we robbed was like an off-world asshole who was among the rich elite. And therefore, we're sort of Robin Hood-esque, you know, just taking his shit because he's a douchebag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that works too.
Ash, I'd like to stock up on Mon Calamari supplies, mainly food packs and the cultural stuff I can't get.
Oh,
Why don't you buy some nice upgrades for your bathtub?
I will buy a bubbler for my pot.
A little umbrella. You know those that they put in tropical drinks?
all right, Experta. I'm only here for a fucking hot tub bubbler, man. Don't go too far.
Okay, you can obtain your cultural significance and also the packs that you need.
Yes, some nice foods. More ornaments for my room.
Yes. This actually will have an effect on your room as well, that if you negotiate with Mon Calamarian, you know, any of Curesh or stuff like that from this planet, you're actually going to get a bonus to negotiation.
Excellent. I shall put that into my notes. Cheers, Ash.
Yes. So essentially you did what Jack did with upgrading his room.
After enjoying the home culture of the city for a few days, I'd like to seek out Astrid, see what she's doing.
I guess Astrid's just more sightseeing, I guess. Not really anything in particular.
Sure.
Astrid, I'd like to have a quick word with you. For a moment of your time, please.
Oh yeah, what's up?
I just wanted to make sure you're holding up okay, given, well, the amount of Force users now on our ship. It can be quite the experience being surrounded by Jedi.
Yeah, everything seems to be going fine. Didn't really get all this like Force stuff, but I guess it's a thing.
I'm glad to hear that. Back when I was a young man, there was a time where, well, I resented not being a Jedi myself. It got to my head quite a bit, and I just wanted to make sure that you were holding up all right.
Oh yeah, I'm really happy that he's learning more about himself. Anything that helps him out with, you know, my man is great. He's not the best person, but he's good. He's not gonna go bad.
It's good that you're there for him, and I just wanted to check that things were going okay.
Kains turns around. He gives you a thankful nod.
Hear that?
Fun with your home planet. Must be nice to be back.
It's a good holiday,
He says, as walking towards like some sort of horrible seaweed restaurant.
Astrid's gonna shrug and follow him because she doesn't know anywhere to eat.
They serve horrible slop that tastes like seaweed.
It's
not
like
nice.
Algae, seaweed sort of thing, you know, bit of fish. It's almost as good as Mandalorian rations you had while training with your father, but it doesn't really have that spice to it, you know?
It might not be tasty, but if it's a hearty meal, it's gonna be a hearty meal in Astrid's stomach. Haha, gotta get that protein up for that kid. Eat healthy, live healthy.
That being said, Kains, are you taking her to a restaurant you frequent often when you were here?
Yeah, it's my favourite horrible seafood restaurant.
Ah, that's fair.
Your favorite horrible seafood restaurant. How nice.
As you come up, all you see is rather large set calamari and go, "Is that who I think it is?" He's wiping his hands of all the fish blood. "Is that you?"
It's me, Kains. Do I recognize him?
You actually recognize him. He's essentially sort of like, how would I say, like your family considers him like an uncle to the family. His name is Kref.
Kref. Kref, is that you?
Ah, oh my boy. He's like opening up his arms, getting around the counter, open his arms and ready to hug you.
I give him a hearty hug, despite being covered in fish guts.
He gives you a hug back. He's like, I never thought I would see you again after you went off with the boys, as you called it.
The Republic service, it's been such a long time since I've seen you. Have you? I can't believe you're still running the same restaurant.
Ah, my boy, I've expanded my business. I have my place in several cities now.
Excellent. I'll turn to you running a chain. It's gonna be a lucrative business.
Ah, that's true. Little Sue is gonna take over for me one day. She's training over in the other city right now, in fact.
Astrid, come over here and meet Kref.
He waves a hand. It's the fish guts splatter slightly.
Oh hey, are you one of Kains' friends?
Yes, Uncle Kref, how are you doing? He like holds out his hand towards you.
That wasn't an in-character pause. I actually forgot your name because I'm used to calling you Sushi.
That has to be a racial slur.
Rude. But yeah, I'll shake his hand.
He shakes Astrid's hand. He's like, it's good to see that he's hanging out with good crewmates nowadays, though you don't look to be a Republic.
No, Kref, I've left the Republic behind a while back, and this is the crew I'm traveling with now.
Oh, I see. He strokes his bulbous chin for a moment, going, oh, either way, you're quite a strong-looking warrior. Normally get your types in here.
Thank you. I try. I've trained since I was a wee little girl.
I can see. Oh, you're a woman now. Of course you are.
She's a Mandalorian, you know.
Now it makes sense.
He says as she's sitting in Mandalorian armor.
Very lucky to have her on the ship protecting us.
I'm sure
our skin more than once.
That being said, will you just come back to see how I'm doing? What brings you back?
Just here on a small home visit, collecting some supplies.
I see. Still, I hope you do visit a few of your old friends. I'm sure they missed you very much.
Oh, it's good to see you again, Kref, but I can see you're busy trying to run a restaurant here.
Of course. Oh, I actually was wondering, he says as he gets back behind the counter, I did wonder why you were not with your crewmate before.
Do I know which one he's talking about? Who I may have brought to this restaurant?
You know for a fact that he's seen many of your crewmates. He was one of the people who saw you off before you left on the ship that you served on. And it could be, well, let's just say not many of them survived.
Yeah.
Well, it was a hard war in the Republic, and many of my former allies were killed.
I see. Well, trust a Jedi to stay alive, huh?
Well, hopefully he's not alive. I think that very same one. Well, I won't go into the details.
Really? I only saw him a few days ago.
What? What do you mean, a few days ago?
I came around
Astrid's
here
gonna
before.
glance at Kains.
He came around here before. I believe he was looking for your apartment or something.
I lean over and grab him by the collar, mistakenly probably believing him to be talking about an old Jedi I used to know instead of probably a new one.
Who are you talking about? What does it look like?
Kains, is there an issue?
He's like holding on to your collar as he puts a hand on the bar. He's like, Kains, calm down. It's somebody in the hood. You know how Jedi are. They all look the same.
You've got to tell me who he was.
Look, he didn't mention his name. He was just wondering where you stay. I told him your apartment was cleaned out. You know, the one you stayed at before you shipped away.
Damn it. I'm not interested in seeing that man again. If it's the one I'm talking about, I knew a few Jedi, but there's one specific Jedi I'm not interested in seeing.
That's weird. What one is it? He says, he's like tapping your hand to let him go.
I'd let him go, and sort of, it seems like he was just instinctively doing it, not out of any rage or anything.
Yeah, of course, that's why he did, like...
Yeah.
No job.
Astrid's also gonna put a hand on Kains' shoulder at this point, kinda concerned.
Did he introduce himself as a Jedi, Griff?
Well...
Or did he look more like a Sith?
Well, to be honest, he was wearing brown robes. I assumed he was a Jedi. He had the lightsaber to match. He simply asked where you were. I just remember seeing the guy dressed of when you left before on that ship. So I thought it would be okay to tell him where you used to stay. I mean, it's an empty thing now.
Thanks for telling us this, Griff.
I turned to Astrid.
We need to check out my old apartment now. I've got an old enemy hunting me down by the sound of it.
Astrid nods and begins basically takes her communication device and talks over the speaker that would communicate to everybody at once. Hey guys, I think there's an issue.
Hey, you can't have found us already. Pretty sure I made it so that there was quite a few trails he'd have to follow.
No, not with that. It appears somebody's looking for Kains, and from Kains' reaction, it's probably not a good thing.
Did one of his ex-patient, what? Did he nip him the wrong juice or something?
No, not a patient. I think it's a Jedi?
It wouldn't happen related to anything he shared with us, is it?
At this point, I'm going to kind of like cover the beat and ask Kains for more information.
I don't know what the situation is anymore, but he may be masquerading as a Jedi.
Okay, scratch that. Not actually a Jedi. Might be masquerading as a Jedi. Not sure what's happening. All we know is that he was looking for Kains' apartment.
Does he want something from him, or does he want to hurt him?
Probably hurt him.
How long ago and where are you currently?
Kains, how long ago was he looking for your apartment again?
I did say days ago, which could be 1 or 2.
A few days ago, 1, 2, we don't know.
Okay, upload the location to the map and we'll try and meet you there.
Alright, I'll basically plug in the coordinates for where Kains' apartment was.
Okay. When you start, working on such a thing, you find that it's in one of the struts underwater. Which, of course, you can get to from the city if you check. Do you do any recon before you go there, or do you converge straight there?
I'll leave recon to somebody else, because Astrid's just going to be heading over.
I'm traveling with Astrid, so I imagine unless anyone wants to go there first, we'll be all meeting.
Basically, I'm just trying to round up as many crew as are on the ship at the minute, head down there with them.
As you're making your way down there, you soon come across, a pretty strange sight of a blast door, like a heavy set blast door.
I turn to Kains. Gesture at the blast door.
For instance, as you're going down the elevators and you'll converge in the same hallway to go towards the apartment complex, a blast door is in the middle of the hallway, blocked off.
I like doors that come with their own instructions. Hey Jack, why don't you use your new pistol? Blast it.
Are we just in the middle of a street?
Yeah, essentially it's a street, like massive blast door. You can actually see some other blast doors along the way, like in sections.
I'm going to look over to Kains and go, is this normal?
This wasn't here before. I'm terribly sorry about all this. I do owe you more of an explanation, but it's important that we find my apartment very quickly.
Ash, are there any
fine.
posters or something around? Is the area being quarantined or something?
You can actually see a Quesh, which is in the equivalent of a hard hat. By the way, a Quesh, if you guys don't know, is a very
With faces.
squid-like. Yeah, it's very
Aren't they the
squid-face,
tentacle
like,
faces?
Squidward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, essentially Cthulhu-like creatures.
Like a
And
way
one of them
nicer
are
than
in
Cthulhu.
one of them are in equivalent of a jumpsuit and a hard hat. You normally see these guys in administration, like, but this guy seems to be working with his hands, a maintenance guy. You can see him by the blast door, checking readouts on the panel.
I'm gonna walk up to him. Hey there, excuse me, mind if I ask you some questions?
He turns around and he grumbles something under his breath that your translator doesn't really pick up. But when he turns around, he starts, well, speaking through the translator. What is it?
Yes, yeah, hi, I was wondering, what's with the blast doors? My friend has lived in there until recently and he doesn't remember any of this stuff. What happened?
Oh, somebody broke the sides of the hallway. The entire apartment complex was flooded, essentially.
Why would they do that? That sounds horrible.
Don't worry about too much about it. The thing was basically condemned anyway.
Condemned? I didn't mention that.
Sorry, been condemned recently. Was going to be rebuilt, but I guess it's easier just to leave it seared off.
I see. Thank you. Oh, and another thing. Is it possible to, well, enter it?
To enter it?
Yes, you see, my friend kind of forgot something important. That's why we came here, so we can get it.
It's got to be rather wet, but you, of course, can't enter from here, but the hallway has been sheared apart, so you could probably swim outside and get in. It's inside of a protective barrier, so no chance of getting eaten.
Looks like we'll have to do this the Mandalorian way.
I give Astrid a stare of regretful resignation.
Essentially, you probably need the explosives to get into the strut, but otherwise, you can just basically dive. You can just literally just dive off the edge of the city into the water and make your way towards the strut.
Well,
The barrier is just there to protect, you know, giant fish from getting too close to the city.
well,
Hey,
I guess
I-
it's a good thing that we've got scuba gear. Just so we're clear, considering this area was not meant to be flooded, it's probably gonna be pretty dangerous, so we should be careful.
I would imagine they've sabotaged some of the blast doors to make sure the entire area was flooded. And
At
is
any
it
rate,
turns to
Doc,
Kains
you know
for
the way,
confirmation?
so lead on as soon as we grab the gear.
That looks to be the case.
So, yeah, Ash getting our gear and diving down.
I see.
Right then.
It's fine. I see through the force.
Quick answer, you have no mouth. Just Darth Malik rips.
Diving into the deep ocean, the creatures flow all around you. The coral, almost like a garden on a seabed, kept prim and proper by the few Connemarians that you see. Basically chipping it away and making sure it doesn't grow into the superstructure of the city. Likely a common sight on this planet. As you go deeper, you can see small streams of different coloured water of some kind flowing up, almost azure blue standing out from it. And yeah, I can see it. Zoom in. Fuck off.
Do I recognise what those different jets of water are?
And that would be the old Kolto reserves. While Kolto is much less valuable, it has since been replaced by Bacta on ocean worlds such as this. Kolto was the main resource that was traded. And it essentially works the same as Bacta, but Bacta can be mass-produced while Kolto is an underground reserve of healing gel, essentially.
Good to know.
thankfully, the barrier that shimmers off in the distance, you can definitely see that no large predators can make their way in. Though, due to your experience before in this ocean, you definitely know that small nips and bites from the local fauna is rather common.
Yeah.
I think you're going to make your straight way to the apartment complex?
Yeah, as straight as we can.
In
Alright, then.
calamari, seaweed eats you!
We're gonna make a way so straight, it's gonna be like the opposite of a
You cannot, Adam. The opposite of what now?
Amanda.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
He's calling me gay again.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't hear him because he was
noticed.
breaking up.
And I gave him the appropriate response, which was no reaction.
As you get closer to the strut, you can see the shimmering lights that are still very active from the flooded regions. While some of it is clearly still operational with a few people swimming around here and there, you can definitely see that it's pretty much a free-for-all. Some are trying to get it together, others are going inside to raid what's left in there. Well, there are some creatures hanging about here and there as well.
I didn't expect it to see it in this sort of sorry state.
I let Kains take the lead with two.
Kains is squad lead. What do you wish to do?
I will head towards where I remember my apartment being in this complex. What's the main entrance to this place?
The main entrance to this place was once the hallway that attached it, which you went through before. However, since it's been sheared off, you can no longer get in since the heavy blast doors have been closed.
Yeah, are there blast doors on this end as well?
Yes, there have been blast doors sealed there as well. It's an emergency mesh that kicks in, but the place you can clearly see have a few holes in it from the pressure and sudden landing of the strut. So the easiest way to get in would probably be from your window.
Looking for the closest hole near the original corridor then.
Fair enough. There is a small hole. It's not big enough for any of you to really fit inside, but it's definitely a breach that you could get inside some of the maintenance shafts. If you basically widen the hole.
Astrid, you've got experience crawling around in maintenance shafts. What do you think about
Yes.
this one?
Yes, I do. And, it's a bit small, but, I think I could fit. Or we could fit.
Who's the biggest? I'm probably the biggest person in the group, aren't I?
No.
For sheer size, you would probably be the biggest, but Astrid of the armor would be the bulkiest.
Yeah.
Yes, if you can fit in there with your armor, then the rest of us can follow.
Yes, you would
I'm
have
not.
to.
Are you calling her fat?
You
I
would
think
have
he's
to.
calling me muscular. Pay
With-
some respect,
With
Cora.
armor.
With armor. But, I guess I'll squirm my way in there.
Well, first you have to cut away some of the hole parts in order to
I
get
punch
inside.
it away.
It's metal. You're not that strong.
She's a Mandalorian, she punches it away.
Hey,
You can just see Astrid bong. You can't even build
I
up enough
punch it
speed. You're
away.
you're in the water. You can't build up enough speed. You're like,
I don't.
dong.
No, you see, I do build. I have a jetpack.
Okay, you just see Astrid bouncing off the side,
Shout out to
trying to
punching in a
break it.
dream.
Like, eventually, Tis is gonna take pity on Astrid and just tap her on the shoulder to get her attention.
Oh right, my axe. I begin axing it away.
It bothers away, but you still can't build up enough strength and speed in the water in order to hit it.
Dibler, this is getting very painful to watch. Just give her your lightsaber.
Tisa just sort of gently nudges Astrid to the side and like ignites the lightsaber in a hail of bubbles because the water is now boiling. And then, well, starts trying to cut into the material. Like, how hard is it? How tough is it? And how thick is it?
It's
That's what she
pretty
said.
thick, but thankfully to your +1 boots, you're able to do it. It will just take a minute or two, essentially, in order to do it proper. As long as somebody's holding on to the side and holding you to keep you steady, you should be fine.
Oh, this is getting so comical. I love it. Oh, this is amazing.
After Teaser eventually gets the medal free, I'm just gonna kind of like lightly punch her on the arm. Good job, Teaser, you finished it off. Team effort, woohoo! And then climbs into the vent.
Well
Seriously,
done.
It shuts off the lightsaber without saying anything.
I think Astrid softened up the wall for you when she punched it, so you should thank her.
I think Astrid may be trying to make herself out to be super useful, so she doesn't get benched for being pregnant.
Okay, wait. How big is the chunk I cut out?
Kains.
Yes.
It's beefy.
I don't know
It's
what the
falling
secret
down.
to a happy life is.
I'm assuming it's bigger than Silhouette Zero.
Take nothing when
Zero
she
Zero
does
is
stuff
smaller
like
than human.
this, and smile if she looks over.
It's big enough to like. It's pretty big chunks that you chopped away, essentially, and they're
Sorry, you were a little
inside or
thumbs
thrown
up.
down.
Yeah, no, it was like, because I can't move stuff that is bigger than Silhouette Zero, if I remember correctly. And Silhouette Zero, I think Silhouette 1 is human-sized, if I remember. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's fine. They're just chunky and heavy. You can just chop it away and then Astrid push them out of the way.
Damn it,
Team effort.
I wanted to move it by using the Force, but I'm not strong enough.
I'm strong enough. Haha. But yeah, I'll go in first.
But not on the Force, it doesn't count.
Thankfully,
Poor
Kains is
Kains.
totally okay. Actually, I think at this point, Kains is only wearing a mask in order to communicate with you guys.
Yes.
He's totally fine just swimming there in his spandex suit.
What makes you say he's wearing a spandex
He's not
suit?
wearing a spandex suit, he's wearing a speedo because he has to show off the fishy abs.
What makes you say I'm wearing a speedo?
I don't know, it just feels like something Doc would do.
This is my natural habitat. It's like my clothes. This ocean is my clothes.
He's
And you're
naked.
all inside of it.
Behold the mighty cloaca.
You can see Astrid
about
now and
that.
again peering over to your ridiculously muscular body.
You can't emote Astrid like that, Ash. Come on.
Look, we all know she is doing it.
Yeah.
I feel personally attacked right now.
You are.
So, you will swim into the breach and into the maintenance shafts. Let's see. I would like somebody to roll me a bit of streetwise to basically, you know, sort of. We're wise enough in order to get through the.
I've got streetwise. Can I roll it?
Hey Adam, what's your streetwise?
I got 2 yellows and 1 green.
Damn, son, you're better than mine.
I bought
Oh,
a
and
rank
3 green.
streetwise last session.
Jesus, fuck.
Hey!
Nice. Though you have to squeeze past Astrid a bit and basically step on her back in order to get past, which she's probably not happy about. You,
Shout out to the last 3 months of pregnancy.
you do eventually
Hey,
push
pregnant
past her
wife
and guide
kicks
her.
in the back.
No, it's fine. If you do it with a wink, no one knows.
Also, I would just like to note the fact that say looks at the two threats and say nice.
Moment.
Astrid does
good.
not mind the
That's
proximity.
good for one marital strife event.
Astrid doesn't mind the proximity, but she does kind of not enjoy the getting kicked in the back. Be a bit
Well.
more careful with your feet.
Sorry, did I get you there? I say using your shoulder to sort of launch off.
Yes.
Don't worry, Astrid, I'll have a word with him and tell him that what he's doing is not cool. Cora follows after Jack, looking very sternly as she does exactly the same thing that Jack did.
Launching off of her shoulder as well.
Exactly.
Astrid begins hissing. Just it's all you hear over the comms.
I think your mic's broke.
Caesar will allow Astrid to go first. And no, I'm not going to fucking Superman my way through the water because that is dumb.
Technically,
Astrid
you could lift
kicks
someone
off
of human
the
size.
floor, you know, like a regular person.
Actually, no, I can't. I need to because there's zero one, and I can only lift 0.
Yeah, but you're in the water. People basically weigh less. You can just Superman yourself through.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna Superman myself through the water because that is dumb. It is the stupidest shit I've ever
No,
seen.
it's a beautiful scene that brought a tear to my eye. Do it now. Do it.
Imagine you're playing Superman 64. Do it.
Dude, are you seeing this?
Come on, T-Rex! Fuck you, bitch!
Yes, on the buildings, collateral damage.
Fuck collateral damage. I'm in a giant